Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and yeah, we've got a partner pair today. If you watched my stream last Thursday, one of my regular, well, people on my stream, one of my subscribers, one of my people who's been around me since the start, Primal, asked me to build this deck live on stream. So we're having problems last Thursday night before the problems started on Friday with getting games up and running on Commander. So I thought, all right, we'll do a bit of a deck build on stream, and I enjoyed it so much I thought, okay, I'll do it as the fourth video for the following week. So if you want to see the deck being built in real time, go look on Twitch. It's the link down below. Go and find the video from last Thursday. You can see me build this while we wait for it to play, and then I play the games out as well. But it's a pairing that comes through from Commander Legends when it first came out, and he wanted me to play Keleth and Kediss. They work together quite well, believe it or not. So if you don't know what they do, partners, obviously you can have two commanders. So two commanders on the side, 98 cards in your deck. These two are two of the cheaper partners you can get. Keleth, whenever a commander you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And Kediss, whenever a commander you control deals combat damage to an opponent, it deals that much damage to each other opponent. Now, the upside with this is Keleth attacks, Kediss attacks. They both get a +1/+1 counter on them. And then if they deal damage to anybody, you're going to get an extra 2 or an extra 4 damage in on everybody on the table. So if you attack a player who has no blockers, hit them for 4. Because obviously Keleth will put a +1/+1 counter on both of them. So you get 4 damage in. The other two people you're playing against take 4 damage. And so on and so forth. It builds up. It does mean that Keleth tends to get killed more often than Kediss does. Kediss does, sorry. Keep putting an R in there isn't one, sorry. Kediss does. But, you know, the horse and the lizard seem to work well together. And this is what the rest of the deck looks like for today. Starting with your land, I didn't skimp on this because this was an online deck. So, you know, Alpine Meadow, Arid Mesa, Bloodsforge. Bloodstained Mire, yeah, is an off. Well, it's not an off-colour, it's got red in it. It's, you know, search Sackland. They're here, Evolving Wells, Evolving Passage, Fabled Passage, sorry, Fury Calm, Snarls here. I've played Inventor's Fair because I've got a lot of artifacts in the deck, and I'll go through why in a little while, so a little bit of life gain. Whole load of mountains, whole load of plains. Expensive side of life is here because Plateau's in the deck because I'm playing this online. I probably am going to build a version in real life, but it won't have Plateau in it. I'll just promise you that here and now. Sacred Foundry, Temple of the False God, the usual selection of things. No Reliquary Tower, just for a bit of a break, but the False God does help. Artifact ramp wides, just went with Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Talisman of Conviction, and the Pearl and Ruby medallions, just so I could have a little bit, you know, get the cost down this other way. Now, the rest of the deck is kind of a little bit of a Boros in artifact equipment deck with some other bits and pieces chucked in for good fun, just so we can, you know, try and maximize what we're doing here. So you may not agree with it, but I went with Elixir of Immortality, Shadow Spear, just so we can pump things up. You know, we want our commanders dealing damage. It's a good number to get that extra damage through to everybody. So, you know, Shadow Spear has made sense. Skeleton's Key makes one of our commanders, gives our commanders Skulk. You know, can't be blocked by creatures with power greater. So hopefully, you know, if you play it or Kedrith's been killed off or Kediss has been killed off a couple of times, you can have a low value creature you're always going to get through. And, you know, draw and discard is an optional thing. So it's up to you. Because we're playing a lot of equipment, there's going to be quite a few of the Boros equipment based cards in the deck. The first one is Auric Steel Shaper, and then we've got Saram, Senior Editor here. Brought Back is fun. I forgot this card existed, and I remembered it when I was building this deck. If they kill off Keleth and they kill off Kediss, leave them on the same turn, and you've got this in your hand, leave them in the graveyard, don't put them back in the command zone. Hopefully you've got 2 white mana up and available, and you can just bring them back into play. It really upsets people, but it's good fun when it happens. Pure Steel Paladin means your equip costs go to 0. Hexgold Halberdier is just one of the 4 Mirrodin equipment types, but I quite like this one because it gives first strike and trample. So you get your little 2/2 with first strike and trample, and then you can move it around if need be. Merry Esquire of Rohan, coming in from Lord of the Rings. We'll try and equip Merry if we can, and whenever you attack with Merry and another legendary creature, Draw a card. Yep, a little bit of card drawing. Cope with that fine. Thank you. Rhea Master Smith is also in. Whenever a creature you control that's a charge of equipped attacks, it gains double strike until the end of turn. That's good. And Weapons Trainer. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 as long as you control an equipment. Notice as long as you control equipment. Not that it's equipped, just you control. Does make a difference. Ardeen, Intrepid Archaeologist, is here. Move the equipment around as you need to. Danieth Caspian Paragon gives you a chance to make them cost less as you cast your equipment. Teferi's Protection, well, protects everything. Yeah. Kemba, Car Regent, get the equipment attached to it, get some cap blockers as things go along. Dwarven Hammer gives you a dwarf when it comes into play if you pay the 2, so 5 mana. A little bit expensive, but, you know, 3 mana to cast, 3 mana to equip, or 5 mana to have a 2/1 with a 3/1. Yeah, it becomes a 5/1 blocker for a turn. Not the end of the world. Gimli's Axe gives you menace on your creatures if you need to, especially your legendary ones, which makes life even more fun. You know, have you seen how hard it is to block something that's going up to sort of like 4/5/2 with menace? Yeah, not great for anyone at all. Kellen the Fey-Blooded lets you go and find an equipment and then gives all your other creatures +1/+0 for each or equipment attached to it. Lelia the Blade Reforged. I'm so glad I went and splashed out and bought one of these at last. Love this card, especially in equipment decks. In this deck it's even more fun, so it's great. The Reaver Cleaver gives you more and more equipment and you get some treasure tokens. Thank you very much. Yeah, equipped creature gets +1/+1, has trample. Hopefully you'll hit with it and get your treasure tokens, which is cool. Hammer of Perforos gives you everyone haste that you need to have haste. Akiri, Fearless Voyager. Whenever you attack a player with 1 or more equipped creatures, draw a card. And 1 white, you may unattach an equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible. Yeah, okay then. Save everything. Queen Kalia Bin Krug. Now, this is a controversial card. It was a controversial card when I put it in the other night. But in here, it's quite nice because we can discard our stuff and then draw that many cards. You may choose an artifact or creature card with mana value 1 you discarded, then the same with 2 and 3, and basically put them back onto the battlefield. We have a lot of 3-drop equipment. We have a lot of 3-drop creatures, and we have a lot of 3-drop, 1-drop and 2-drop things that we might want to get back this way. Not so much 1-drop, but the 2 and 3s definitely. So, hey, I think it's worth a try out, and it worked quite well in one of the test games I've played since I built the deck. So, hey, Chariot of Victory. Just something a little bit different, so we aren't using the same old ones. This is from Journey into Nyx. First strike, trample and haste when you equip it. 4 mana to equipping, cast and equip, so that's pretty good value. Chitinius Cloak gives you a creature +2/+2 and menace. Forebearer's Fate does +3/+0 vigilance and trample, and whenever a quick creature dies, attach it to a creature you control. So it gets around your equip value quite quickly. Haunted Cloak, vigilance, trample and haste. Nice cheap equip value. Lockstone Warhammer +3/+0 trample and lifelink. Get through, get the damage in. And Whisper Silk Cloak. Second day running, you've seen Whisper Silk Cloak in one of my decks after yesterday's one with not the Maelstrom Wanderer, Yidris. Apologies. But yeah, bang bang. Yes, get through. Get on with it. Armoured Sky Hunter, just go and find the equipment you need to pump your creatures up. Valor, once it gets in the graveyard, gives everything first strike. A bit like Anger giving everything haste when it gets in the graveyard. Not going to complain about giving everything haste and not thinking about it. Halvar, God of Battle. Creatures you control are enchanted or equipped to have double strike, thank you. Or you have the bit of equipment. But at the beginning of each combat, you may attach target or equipment attached to a creature you control to another creature you control. Can be useful. And the Sword of the Realms isn't the worst thing in the world either. Saves your creatures when the creature dies, return it to its owner's hand. It's quite nice if you put the Sword of the Realms on one of your 2 commanders just to save them going. You'd have to pay commander tax if it's in your hand. Wrath controls the board. Chain Reaction controls the board. Court of Embereth gives you some little knights to play around with and blockers, and makes you a monarch so you get the card draw at least once. Astor, Bearer of the Blades, gets you an equipment you need. Cuts the equip costs of all your equipment down as well, which is really nice. Under the 5 dropped, Guardian Scalelord. Had to have one backup creature in the deck just to return things. And it's non-land permanent, so, you know, it is quite good from that point of view. Especially if you can give it a power boost as well when it goes for attacking itself. If you've got it down as maybe a 6/4 because of some equipment you've attached to it. You know the ones I'm talking about. They're all here somewhere. Yeah. Shit in his cloak, Forebearer's Blade, locks it on Warhammer. Yeah, you get to return a lot of things from your graveyard to play, which is nice. Unfinished Business does that for you as well. A really, really good reanimation spell that I think people forget about. Return a target creature and then return up to 2 equipment or all the cards attached to that creature. Yeah, okay then. I'm not going to say any more than that. It's really good. Court of Ire, just a little enough way of giving yourself Monarch and doing a little bit of damage each turn, which can help. Campus Renovation just returns an when this deck returns an artifact card, we exile the top 2 cards of our hand from our graveyard. No, exile the top 2 cards of our library, sorry, and we get to play them this turn. So, you know, late game card, but it does help with the return of your artifacts. The Hero's Resolve gives everything haste and a +1/+0, and then you can bounce things around if you need to, blink them in and out for all wants and purposes. You don't need to do it, but it's there if you need it. Tiana, Ship's Caretaker, Flying, First Strike. Whenever an aura or equipment you control is put into graveyard from the battlefield, you may return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. Okay then, thanks. Farewell controls the board. Sun Titan brings everything back with a mana cost of 3 or less, so basically everything from here down to here, bring it all back. Godo, Bandit Warlord, just comes in and goes, I'm going to have all the equipment and go for it. Yeah, and gives you an additional combat phase if you want it, but if you've got Samurai. Ancient Copper Dragon, do I need to say anything? No, not really. No, it's just one point I will point out. First red deck for a while, the Dockside Extortionist isn't in. You can drop one of the cards, you know. Hexgold Halibrid could become Dockside, but I thought I'd just mention it now while I was thinking about Ancient Copper Dragon. You'll be getting treasure tokens off this, so it's all good. Combustible Gearhulk is damage all cards. Fiendish Duo doubles the damage that will be dealt to each player, which is great with this. Hence why we have Fiery Emancipation in the deck as well to triple it. And Nahiri, Forged in Fury. Yeah, we have a lot of equipment. We will be able to cast Affinity for equipment quite happily with this one from Aftermath. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, exile top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. You may cast equipment spells this way without paying their mana costs. It is entirely possible to play a red-white deck when Nahiri is your commander. Everything else in the deck is equipment. Believe it or not, it's possible. Not saying it's a good deck, but it does work. Therefore, you get Nahiri very big, very quickly. Angras Marauders does hold double the damaging thing for us from a pirate point of view. Giselle, Blade of Good Night. Source will deal damage to an opponent or permanent the opponent controls. It deals double that damage and you take half the damage. Thank you very much. City on Fire does our whole tripling damage up for us. And finally, Blasphemous Act, nearly finally, penultimately I should say, controls the board. And I've been wanting another excuse to play this card. Wildfire Awakener. Convoke it out, get a whole load of X11 red elemental tokens that when they become tapped, you get to ping target player. Yeah, really want to try and do this so I get a whole load of them, of these lovely elemental tokens out. May have to think about building a commander with this in as the main win threat. What I will say here and now is if you've got Animpakal, this card should be in your Animpakal deck here and now. Just because of the extra gnomes it will generate for you. But that's it. That's my take on Keleth and Kediss. Yeah, I'm really glad that Primal pointed them out to me, reminded me about them and asked me to build the deck. I've enjoyed playing it. I think most of the last Thursday stream, if you rewatch it, is these two commanders, and I'm still going to do a little bit of work, and I think this version, because this is purely the version I built on the stream as we were talking about it, probably needs a little bit more work and needs to become a little bit more focused. So I may come back to these two in the future. But for now, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button that's appeared down here somewhere. Come and look on the description down below. Come and follow me on Twitch if you want to see me play this, or you come over there and you do what Primal did. Yeah, it's your monthly request as you subscribe to the Twitch stream. You can ask for that and I will build a deck there and then and play it. But for now, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.